In the unforgiving skies of modern warfare, even a technological marvel can become completely defenseless in a matter of minutes. On December 1, 1951, over the battle-torn region of Sunchon, the pride of British aviation, the UK Gloster Meteor F-8 faced an unprecedented tactical disaster. Within a single 10-minute engagement, a formation of 12 Meteor jet fighters from the Royal Australian Air Force No. 77 Squadron was violently scattered and heavily damaged by the unexpected arrival of Soviet Mig-15 fighters. 4 British-built jets were heavily damaged or destroyed without a single confirmed victory against the Soviet adversaries. The stakes could not have been higher for the Western Alliance. Each UK Gloster Meteor F-8 represented an investment of nearly 40,000 British pounds, a formidable interceptor that had previously saved London from the V-1 flying bombs of World War II. Yet, against this new threat, the multi-million-dollar fleet was rendered exposed and tactically useless. Leading global defense analysts argue that this single engagement shattered the illusion of Western air superiority in Asia, leaving Commonwealth forces entirely vulnerable over the Korean peninsula. On paper, their only tactical salvation would be a complete retreat from air-to-air combat. How did the first operational jet fighter of the United Kingdom fail so catastrophically against a Soviet rival? Was it a fatal flaw in British aerodynamic engineering? Or did a massive intelligence failure hand the enemy the exact tools needed to neutralize the West? Before we go on, did the British government make a fatal mistake by trusting their rivals with advanced technology? Subscribe to the channel to find out in our next chapter. And tell me where you're watching from. The primary vulnerability of the UK Gloster Meteor F-8 was a profound aerodynamic miscalculation that British designers at the Gloster Aircraft Company chose to ignore. During the early days of the Cold War, the aviation world divided over wing design. The British manufacturer stubbornly retained a straight wing configuration, believing it offered superior stability for the pilot. However, this design created immense aerodynamic drag when approaching the speed of sound. The structural limit locked the maximum speed of the Gloster Meteor F-8 at 965 km per hour, which equates to a maximum velocity of Mach 0, 82. In sharp contrast, the Soviet Union embraced advanced aerodynamics by utilizing a 35-degree swept wing on the MiG-15. This swept wing allowed the Soviet fighter to slice through compressed air currents, reaching a maximum speed of 1,075 km per hour, or Mach 0, 92. This created a massive speed deficit of more than 100 km per hour for the Commonwealth pilots. Furthermore, the physical superiority of the MiG-15 extended into altitude and vertical agility. The Soviet jet possessed a maximum service ceiling of 15,500 meters and a spectacular climb rate of 50 meters per second. The Gloster Meteor F-8 was completely outclassed, restricted to a service ceiling of 13,100 meters and a climb rate of just 5 meters per second. This extreme performance gap created a tactical nightmare in the theater of war. Soviet pilots held absolute control over every engagement. They hid at higher altitudes, dived to launch heavy cannon attacks, and then climbed vertically out of reach. If a Gloster Meteor F-8 attempted to follow this vertical climb, the British jet would instantly stall due to a lack of lift and tumble into a dangerous spin. Inside the cockpit, the situation was equally grim. Pilots endured high gravitational forces without defensive anti-G suits, leading to frequent temporary blackouts. At high altitudes, the canopy heating system failed, freezing the cockpit glass and forcing pilots to scratch away ice while under fire. The ultimate tragedy of the Gloster Meteor F-8 was that its battlefield obsolescence was accelerated by a disastrous political decision made years prior. In 1946, the British government under Prime Minister Clement Attlee faced severe post-war economic pressure. In an effort to secure foreign currency and improve diplomatic relations, London signed an agreement to export 25 advanced Rolls-Royce Nene turbojet engines to the Soviet Union. The British authorities extracted a promise that this state-of-the-art technology would only be used for civil aviation purposes. However, this naive diplomatic maneuver backfired completely. Soviet engineers at the Klimov Design Bureau instantly dismantled the British hardware and reverse-engineered its core systems. They created the Klimov RD-45 engine, which they rapidly upgraded into the Klimov VK-1 turbojet engine. This refined propulsion unit delivered a massive thrust of 26.5 kilonewtons. In comparison, the Rolls-Royce Derwent 8 engines powering the Gloster Meteor F-8 could only generate 15.6 kilonewtons of thrust each. By the time the Korean War erupted, Commonwealth pilots discovered that they were being systematically targeted by a Soviet fighter, utilizing the stolen technological DNA of their own nation. Following the tactical disasters of late 1951, the United Nations Command issued a strict directive banning the Gloster Meteor F-8 from air-to-air operations. To salvage the remaining fleet, military planners reassigned the British jets to low-altitude ground attack missions. Between 1952 and 1953, the aircraft performed admirably in this dangerous new role, executing more than 4,800 ground attack sorties against supply lines. To reclaim the skies, the Western Alliance had to rely heavily on the American swept-wing F-86 Sabre. This technological crisis forced the British Air Ministry to abandon straight-wing designs forever, shifting massive national funding to expedite the development of the swept-wing Hawker Hunter. The historic clash between the Gloster Meteor F-8 and the Mig-15 exposes a profound conflict between two military doctrines. On one side stood the conservative British approach, which prioritized safety, stability, and incremental upgrades to existing straight-wing platforms. On the other side was the radical Soviet doctrine, which was willing to accept high aerodynamic risks to achieve generational leaps in speed and altitude performance. History proves that, in the unforgiving realm of combat aviation, technological complacency is paid for with the lives of frontline pilots. By clinging to obsolete design concepts while simultaneously leaking state-of-the-art propulsion technology to a geopolitical rival, the British government compromised its own defensive capabilities and forced its allies into a position of extreme vulnerability. The strategic shock of 1951 reshaped global defense planning for the remainder of the Cold War, establishing a baseline rule that air supremacy requires continuous, aggressive innovation. Even today, as global superpowers transition from fifth-generation stealth fighters to highly automated sixth-generation combat systems, the harsh lessons of the Korean War remain completely relevant. A single delay in developing next-generation technology can instantly collapse a nation's defense posture. The tragedy of the British jet serves as a permanent warning to military planners that, on the battlefield, being second best means being entirely defenseless. If you were a strategic military planner during that critical era, would you have chosen the safer, more practical path of upgrading proven designs like the British? Or would you have risked everything to pursue a radical technological leap like the Soviet Union? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this strategic analysis valuable, please like the video and subscribe to the channel to support our deep dives into military history. Thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next chapter.